Hey guys, and welcome back to another Broken No Game video. Today's video is dedicated to everything that you need to know. And this is going to be the SINoALICE fact sheet that I'm showing you. Credits go to KiranKitxen on Discord. If you want more information or stuff to get added here, feel free to contact him. Thank you so much for letting me cover this, and thank you to the SINoALICE Fanmade Discord for essentially providing the information. So while we're pretty much going over this, let's just go and farm some evolution of materials or mysteries, because I really need these right now. So what is this? This is the document that pretty much has everything. If you want to know what people are talking about, like what's the XP dungeon, what are jobs, what are orbs, like what is anything in this game, this doc will have it for you. So for example, what character should I choose? Doesn't matter, you get every character. How much is AP refill by? 1 AP per 3 minutes or 20 AP per hour. When is reset? You know, right here, 5 AM UTC, and so on and so forth. How often do you purify at the beginning? You know, only do events in order to maximize. Fun fact, I've covered this before. You get 3 times more AP and EXP at rank 78. Yes, there are breakpoints in future levels, but this is the one that matters the most to global, because this is the rank that you should be able to achieve, especially if you can farm Cinderella Act 2 Chapter 4-2. That's the one to go from 60 to 80 without any AP refills whatsoever. Should you refill to recover AP? Only do it in the beginning, I would say, when you're trying to level up your weapons, but it's at the end of the day, it is up to you. Personally, I like to do that when I'm trying to, upgrade a certain thing, and I am more Colo, more PvP oriented. What do you do after story to become stronger? You do the events. And you do stuff like Guerilla. You farm pretty much any event dungeon that's occurring, so you can level up your weapons, get stronger, get evo materials like what I'm doing here to my right. I'm weak, I can't progress, how do I get stronger? Upgrade your SR and S weapons. Yes, you can upgrade your A ranks, no need to worry about that. Just know they will be replaced. Upgrade what you have, especially if you can't pull. And avoid, don't put your Colo gems, the skill gems, into S ranks or A ranks. Put them into your SRs, and you can upgrade the Nier armor, okay, since it was at A rank. Don't evolve B armor, that's the beginner armor that you get. Evolve this stuff that you get from Nier, and if you can't farm Nier, just buy out the shop so you can get that A rank armor at the bare minimum and level it up and evolve it, because it is worth it. Even if you can't complete hard mode, it's still worth it to get that. Just so you know, CPUs do scale to you. So that means that the only benefit to having CPUs that have 150k CP points, power, what have you, they just get to keep their armor and weapon skills, which is super important because they might be able to hit 2 targets, etc, etc. Here's a quick thing on buffs and debuffs. Here is something that's super interesting, the future gem gain breakdown. So right now we roughly average around 1,000 plus gems a month if you're doing everything, and you're constantly obtaining the friend medals, etc, daily missions. JP actually has 4,591 gems, and of course thank you to Kent for the breakdown for this. There's I believe a majority of the gems are coming from this raid event. I won't cover it too much, but just know it is a PvE mode that you must participate in to get the event, the medal or the gems from here. And then over here, this is guild related stuff, personal milestones, etc, etc, right? Etc, etc. Now, as far as the pacing goes, we are on accelerated pace. Just know when a banner ends, a new banner drops. I won't be trying to do a banner prediction because JP has kind of gone off course with the way banner order is going, just a little bit. If you want to use skip tickets, do it using events. Use skip tickets for events, for example Nier Automata. You're tired of farming it, use your skip tickets. Especially use them since they're going to be expiring at the August 13th. So make sure you're using them for the Nier Automata event, or use them for the Nier Replicant event. Yeah, He even breaks down jobs and classes. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know how this works, but the biggest thing to know is that mages are not great. It's only because they don't have a Shinma buff, alright? By Shinma buff, there's no demon buff, there's no Colosseum buff that allows mages to shine. If that ever comes into play, then mages will hold more relevancy. Just so you know why it's so important, because demon buff is the difference between you winning and losing a match. Usually, unless you guys are very like evenly like, you know, planned out and everything. It doesn't matter what job you really play, just pretty much play what you think that your guild needs or what you think is the most fun. Job stats are permanent, alright? They are permanent, so that means they last forever. Now, as far as it goes, can jobs be power crept? No, because it's permanent. Are there better jobs in the future? They will be, jobs will always technically provide, we'll go into it, it's essentially really difficult for them to be power crept. Mastery points, you know, you get them from Book of Opportunities, and you know, here's how you get how to get to or navigate to the Book of Opportunities, and you get them from pretty much just using your weapons, using your skills, and pretty much any game mode. Almost any game mode provides mastery. What job do you level first? Ideally, you know, you follow this rule. Actually, you don't go level 8 then 10. You go level 6 everything, level 8 then 10. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. Like whichever you prefer. Just don't spread it out evenly. Like I said here, spread it out evenly. Collab jobs typically only have 1 job, 2 at most. That's very true. Half nightmares. So we're getting to a weird topic here, but the part that I wanted to talk about is regular classes have a 10% bonus for the preferred weapon. What does that mean? That means that every single class, regardless of the area, will have a 10% bonus. Only half nightmares have a 35% bonus regardless of the area, right? And that bonus, it means that it allows your, you know, your specific job to use certain weapons a lot better, which is, you know, pretty important. And just note that half nightmares are mainly used for Colo, right? Yeah, there is no S Nightmare that is worth it in story mode. The only thing that you should use an S Nightmare for really is if you don't have, you know, like the Freeze Golem or the Gulu or what have you. Or for example, Justice is a very good S Nightmare for Colosseum. And of course, like as far as like everything goes for like nightmares that are S, I created the video where you can use them to essentially use them as fodder, because they're very good EXP fodder. We talk about the Colo support skills. These are like the most important ones. I've covered this before and like, you know, why they are so good. There's like, feel free to like ask me down in the comments why they're so good if you're wondering about this. You should never use orbs. Even if you're at 400k, you shouldn't use orbs. Orbs do not contribute to Demon and Colosseum, so that's why you don't use them. What can be added to the subgrid? Pretty much everything can be placed in the subgrid. Just note that if you have stuff equipped on your main grid, it can't go into your subgrid, alright? Just note that. Nightmare dupes can be equipped, and you do get the weapon bonus. The weapon bonus is the drop bonus that you get from Nier events. It will apply to the Replicant event, so just note that if there is a weapon that you get from the Replicant event, it will still give you the bonus of giving you more medals. Just note that your subgrid only takes into account 10% of your stats, and weapon skills and armor skills will not affect your subgrid. As in, if you have an effect that's really good in your subgrid, it does not matter. Alright? Skills do not proc. Skills do not proc from your subgrid. Skills do not proc from your subgrid. You can LB armor in the future. Don't worry about that now. It's a special material. It's not the same system as the weapons. These story and Colo support gems are absolutely important. They are one of like the biggest things that you should be getting in the entire game. They are extremely important. And you can level up skill levels for weapon using weapon fodder, and that's also how you get charm medals. But this is really important. Alright? I hope you understand how important those story Colo support gems are. They're extremely important. As a breakdown for how much weapon EXP, this was on Mimidae's notes as well. It even has breakpoints. Breakpoints are essentially when does like a weapon essentially have, you know, when does it level at a certain point. So at 38,000 you will reach level 20, you know what I mean, for a skill level for a weapon, story, Colo, etc, etc. You know, pretty much Advice on re-rolling: if you want to re-roll, just note that weapons generally have a short shelf life depending on the weapon. So if it is a Colo aid skill, like for example, if you have Dauntless Courage like 2, Dauntless Courage 1, support boon, recovery support, AP replenish, or what have you, those weapons will last longer because it's very difficult to have a 20 SR set mono grid of just Dauntless Courage, for example. It will actually take you over a year. You would have to pull one SR weapon with Dauntless Courage every single month consistently in order to make your grid extremely powerful for Coliseum. So it's very difficult to power creep your weapons if you're picking them based off of Colo aid skills. They will have a very long shelf life. Nightmares, you use them for your skills. They're decent for stats, but mostly their skills are where it's at. And jobs, classes, and arcanas have a permanent shelf life. Just note that re-rolling, probably the best re-roll for beginners right there is getting really great weapons. And that's because weapons provide a lot of stats, and jobs I know are important and they last forever. If anything, if you're a support, get the Gretel Minstrel job, because that is the only Minstrel job that is technically out that you can get consistently, because there's no free-to-play Minstrel class currently available. I'm sure it'll come in the future, but for now that's the only free-to-play technically acquirable class is through the reroll. So if you want to be a Minstrel, make sure you do that. And as far as pity rates go, or sparking as they say, there's more information about desire medals. My suggestion is, if you think you're going to be playing this game for a long time, get an Arcana or a job, but you should get the Arcana because it's only 500 medals. Some would say that the sparking system is made for Arcanas because they're only 500 medals. Just note that in the end, the sparking pity system is based off of your personal preference. Some people, I would say, suggest going nightmares. If you are below a certain point of points, like for example, you're at 40k, 60k, and you have no SR weapons, then get the SR weapon. I don't care if, Arcanas are better in the future. If you are below a certain point range and you have no gear whatsoever, you're not going to be able to progress in content, period. I really don't like the argument of getting an Arcana because you don't waste desire medals, because of one thing specifically. Free to play have no gems to pull on. They will not have gems to pull on in the future. If you are going to suggest someone to get a weapon, can you tell them that when the banner comes around next time, 6 months, 2 months, a month from now, a year from now, will they have enough gems to pull and get the job or weapon? I don't believe so. So get a weapon if you are a weak player, or if you're a beginner player and you need gear. Just get a weapon. Even if you pull a dupe of that weapon, you get to limit break an SR. There's not a lot of free-to-play players who have SR weapons right now. Get an SR weapon. It's going to provide you the biggest gains right now. We are not in the game mode. We saw the gem breakdown earlier, right? We are getting less than 1,000 gems a month, or 1,000 gems plus at best. JP is getting 4,500 gems. There is no way a free-to-play can get weapons right now in a consistent way. Just get the weapon that has a decent Colo aid skill. It's going to take forever for it to be coming off your grid, especially if you're running a mono grid, which you should be running for Coliseum. So please understand that if you are not in a good place as a free-to-play, get a weapon that has a very good Colo aid skill. If you're wondering what a good Colo aid skill is, we talked about it earlier. It's pretty much the Dauntless Courage, support boon, those skills. You need to get them, right? You need to get them. But anyways, let's go back to this. Enough about that. Step up banners, it usually varies, but it goes 150, 300, 300, 300, and you get a guaranteed SR at the very end. It always varies, right? More advice on banners, essentially. Weapon info, what you look for, why you should roll for the Automata banner, charm medal breakdowns. This is super important because you should try to get 1,000 charm medals to get 300 crystals, ideally. Ooh, super lucky with the Dragon Shackle. Yeah, I'm gonna use Twilight Crystals. I really need them right now. I really do. Now, as far as friend medals goes, always aim for the 5 daily crystals and get the Arcanas and jobs, just because they last forever. Weapons aren't great, but if you need them, then you need them. Just note that the weapons are The weapons are really horrible. Like, they are actually bad. But if you need a stat stick, you know, you can get it. But they're very, very bad. Then we talked about like what to buy from the desire medals. I know that, you know, people want, you should get an Arcana, but you don't even have enough like gems right now to even think about rolling on future banners. Just get a weapon. Just get a weapon. Like, it's gonna be a while until we can even get 4,500 gems a month. And even if we get it like next month, you won't be able to get the gems because you won't be able to tackle enough content to, you know, get the gems. So get weapons so you can actually farm events and you can actually do stuff and not feel left out, you know what I mean? And it's all about having fun in this game. It's not fun looking at Arcana that doesn't do anything. No offense, it's fantastic advice. And the reason why Arcanas are so fantastic is because you are technically never wasting medals, alright? It is fantastic advice, it is future proof, and I've said that before. But the thing is I don't want to advise someone who has 40k points, 60k points, tell them to, you know, get the Arcana and they won't see any gains. And Arcana provides at most 400 HP, 400 stats, 600 stats. Like the most, it's like 600 to 1,000 stats, and it's permanent. But a weapon, even if it gets power crept, you know, if it's a good weapon with a good Colo 8 skill, it'll last for at least a year. It's going to be hard to fill just your mono grid. I apologize for ranting, but it's just difficult for me to see weaker players incapable of progressing through content because we are thinking too much about the future. We need to think about what's happening in the game right now, or else we cannot progress as a community in the game. We need to think about now instead of the future, like right now. What are the best ways to prep ourselves? And this fact sheets tell you like some things to how to progress extremely quickly. For example, Guerilla. There's even the SINoALICE Database timer that tells you when Guerilla happens, and it is by far the best way to level up your weapons, and it's by far the biggest way to get huge gains in the entire game. You know, when armor occurs, you can even set, like, you can even see the times when they are essentially going to be occurring. You can check it in game, and those are the instructions. You know, even the breakdowns for Google Sheets, there's Google Sheets within Google Sheets. They even have advice for how to tackle, you know, certain nightmares. They even show you the breakdown for when Nier Replicant is coming out. If you're wondering, Nier Replicant comes out August 6th. That's relatively soon. That's like less than a week from now, or it's like, you know, at least 8 days. You know, it's really soon. It's really soon. If you're wondering if there's good weapons there, you can click the link right here. There is a link that provides you, you know, all the Replicant weapons, etc., etc. Even breaks down like what drops where and based on the verses. You know, what do you prioritize in the Nier Automata event? You know, Coliseum, when is Coliseum time? Like, when is Demon? Demon usually occurs between 4 minutes into the match, so 16 minutes left, and 12 minutes into the match, around 8 minutes left to 6 minutes. That's when demons can start spawning. The exact time is very random. Just note that after these periods of time, 4 minutes and 12 minutes, they will start to pop up, which is extremely important. Even advice on combos, like what they do. Shields, they take 1 to 2 seconds to pretty much fall apart. They are right after the ship, so just note that you cannot deal damage to your opponents if there is a shield. You can't tap them. It goes away in like 1 or 2 seconds, so by the time you tap them, it's gonna come off. So if you don't want to waste, you know, some skill, that's perfectly fine to do. You can switch places in Colo, alright? You can switch places. This is how you do it. You go to menu, you go to switch line, alright? That's how you switch with guildies. Super important, right? If you want to, make sure that you are rear guard preferred. If you are support, you will be rear guard preferred, okay? Rear guard preferred. Even tells you stuff about Gran Colo, the betting system, you know, getting gems from the betting system. I'm not going to go over it too much because it's future stuff. You know, packs, just like everything. What's the difference between paid and free? There's no difference right now other than you get to know how much money you spent in the game. And of course, I have to cover this part in the last section. You check the pins right here in the Fanmade Discord. That's where I'm in right now, yeah? I'm in the Fanmade Discord, the Inner Sanctum. If you go into pins, go right there. You know, it even has more advice on other things, like Noin's Nightmare skill is not symmetrical. That means it only affects opponents, you know? Should you upgrade Nier Armor? Yes. Do I really need to farm this set? It's really great for 12k stats. I've covered it in other videos. If you're wondering where I get most of my information, it's here. Please read the pins if you're going to be in this Discord. Please read the pins, because the pins essentially have everything that you need. Like, everything. Like, all of it, boosting weapons, work in grid, or subgrid, alright? Like, all of the stuff that I covered in the doc is right here. Like, what are the metal multipliers, etc, etc. It's all right here, you know, in the pins. Make sure to check them. Anyways, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you to the Fanmade Discord for pretty much helping all the players, providing them good advice, and I totally advocate for the fact that Arcanas are great. If you see yourself playing this game months down the road, I just get very passionate when I see a 40-60k player who can't progress in content. They should get an SR weapon, because they're not going to be able to pull ever again, because let's say they blew their load and they have no gems left, which I know isn't my problem, but at the same time, they need power, so they should get an SR weapon and not wait for, you know, 6-10 months down the line to get, or like a month even, to get a, you know, a boost for like 200-400 stats just because you didn't want to waste metals. Just get the weapon. Just get the weapon. Like, as a free-to-play who, you know, you need power, just get the weapon, alright? Please. If you want the job for your husband or waifu, please get it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to enter the giveaway down in the description, and I'll post the comments. You know, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you in the next one.